I think we're live. Yeah. Are we live? Are we live? Yeah, we are. There's such a delay. Okay, I think we're live. So cool. All right, I think I fixed the glitching issue, everybody. Everybody tuning in on YouTube. No more glitching. I don't want to jinx it. Let me know if it does. But I think I fixed it. A little Google search never hurt nobody. Would you look at that? Alright. Record. So many steps. Alrighty. Well, thanks for tuning in. If you're tuning in on YouTube, episode 83. Let's get this thing rolling. Are we recording? Yes. Are we live? Looks like it. Alrighty. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Episode 83 of the Dugout, Dave's Dugout. Playoffs? Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs? Yeah, baby, we're talking about playoffs. Playoff season is here. It's finally here. It doesn't feel like it, though, does it? It kind of feels weird. It doesn't really feel like the Stanley Cup playoffs are going on right now. It doesn't really feel like the NBA playoffs just started. But I assure you, they did. They did. We have teams have been knocked out in the quest for Lord Stanley's Cup. And the NBA is just getting rolling. Game 2s of the round 1 are starting today. We had some upsets. And we had a first in over 15 years last night. So, we'll get to all that. Ooh, that was a good show. All that. Any Nickelodeon fans out there? I don't even remember how the song went. It's all that. I don't know. Yeah. I feel like I'm cheating. I'm not live on Instagram this time. I'm cheating on my Instagram followers. But it's okay. We're still live on YouTube. If you haven't figured it out by now, which most of you haven't, my backup channel still has more subscribers. It's okay. It's alright. Before we get into all the playoff talk that I'm so excited about, I got a couple things. We got to go over the Premier Lacrosse League. We got to announce a champion. If you haven't heard the good news, we're going back to back. The Whip Snakes, baby. Whip Snakes Lacrosse Club. I call them the Chip Snakes now because they're just racking up these chips, championships. The Championship Snakes instead of the Whip Snakes. Championship Snakes. They're just so good. They're so good. Why are they so good? Nobody stood a chance. they're just their goal differential throughout the whole bubble tournament. It wasn't fair. It just wasn't fair. Let's see. I just want to make sure all our live stuff's going good. I think I fixed the glitching for those watching on YouTube. I think I really did. Alrighty, that's cool. So, Premier Lacrosse League. Let's go back because we were down to the Final Four last time we talked. We had the semifinals and then the championship game on NBC. How cool is that? Lacrosse on NBC. So, we had Chaos, which was the lowest seed in the tournament, taking on the Archers. I kind of thought the Archers might win this whole thing since they had a couple people that already live in Utah, used to the heat, used to the elevation. Didn't work out that way. Wasn't enough. Wasn't enough as the Chaos won that one 13-9. We had another great semifinal game. Redwoods Whip Snakes. This was the second time we saw this year. the first time, and this was a rematch of last year's championship. It was the first game of the season. So, you think the Redwoods, underdogs, they might pull it off, right? They might. They couldn't. Whipsnakes hung on, won 13-12, a 1-point game. Again, the championship game last year was an overtime game. Whipsnakes did win the first game of the season against them, pretty convincing fashion. But this one was close. So, I was dead wrong. From a fandom standpoint, I wanted Archer's Redwoods in the finals. So, of course, naturally, we get Chaos Whipsnakes in the championship. That's just kind of like cookie crumbles, you know? So, this game, now it was over a week ago, so I actually have to pull this up because I don't want to say the numbers wrong. I'm pretty sure, yeah, there were 3, 4, 5, 6. It was 6-3 in the third. I even want to say it was 6-2, but it was definitely 6-3 in the third quarter at some point. Chaos was winning 6-2, 6-3. Then the floodgates broke open in the fourth quarter. I've never seen such a. I tweeted it. It was one of, because I don't know if it's there's probably some great fourth quarter comebacks and championships. The Patriots one comes to mind against the Falcons, but this is that kind of caliber championship game. You're down 6-2 at one point. They came back and scored 9 goals unanswered. The final score ended up being 12-6 Whipsnakes. It was 6-2 at one point, Chaos. 6. They got stuck at 6. It ended up being 12-6. The Whipsnakes just, oh my gosh. I mean, it was I don't even know what to say. Matt Rambo, I mean, we all thought reigning MVP. He was having a great season again. It was just Joseph Nardello on the faceoff. I talked about him, I think, last time. I mean, he was going over 70% on faceoffs. I mean, think about that. Just your team's getting the ball after every goal. So if you don't know lacrosse, there's a faceoff after every goal scored, right? So it's like a equal opportunity. But they were essentially getting make it, take it basketball. Every 10 goals scored, they were getting 7 out of 10 times they were getting the ball back. That's an incredible advantage from a possession standpoint. That's the dumbest way I can break that down. 70% is crazy. The other face-off guys in the league, 62, 58, 55, 54%. So he was a full 10% better than the second best percentage face-off guy this year. 72%. 7 out of 10 times you're getting the ball. He was on pace almost to win the MVP of the league just as a face-off guy. That's how incredible he was doing. But then Zed Williams, they're calling him Zedzilla, went off. It just, what do you have, 7 goals in the championship game? Something absurd. He was leading the league in goals, and they got a bye in the playoffs. So the Whipsnakes had 1 less goal than everybody else, and he still was leading the league. And this isn't a shortened season. There were only 20 games, counting everything, counting the playoffs, counting the group play stage they did. They only did 20 games this year in the bubble. That's all the teams, not like 20 per team. That's 20 games total for 7 teams. 20 for 2020, they were marketing it as. It was nuts. I'm like afraid this live stream is going to go away for some reason. I hope the audio is working too on the live stream. I don't know. We'll find out. So, I mean, that's to wrap it up, the timing was awful. I was moving across the country the first couple days. I had been waiting for this like bubble playoff for forever. Then ended up wanting to move across the country the day it started. So I didn't get to watch as many games. I pretty much watched all of them. But I'm going to go back and, with NBC Sports Gold shouts, you can go back and watch all the games. So I'll do that at some point. But at least we had sports, and we had a successful bubble playoff. I know it was only 7 teams. It's nothing compared to the NFL, the NBA, and the NHL with 30 teams plus. But it was a start, and it was a good way to kind of set the stage. The in-game interviews with the mics and the helmets, I think other leagues have already caught on that that's a great idea. I believe, I don't know this for a fact, but I pay pretty close attention to all sports. Pretty sure the PLL was the first ones to do the fan cutouts in the stands, or at least offer it online to buy, your fan cutout. I don't think their first game aired before baseball, but the PLL announced the idea first. I'm almost positive. Somebody want to fact check me there. But that's a good idea too. It was funny. People's dogs, famous people, Bill Belichick, Drew Brees, Jim Brown, the MVP award. I've talked about that before. Is named after him. They had their cutouts. They actually did live interviews with them too. Those were cool with Brees and Belichick, for example. So, all right. Is that enough about the PLL? You people are probably sick of the PLL. How could you be sick of it? So fun. Try something new. It's what life's about. Live on the edge a little. I don't get it. Wait, pay attention for 10 minutes. Maybe you'll start to get it. Get out of your comfort zone. Everybody can mindlessly just watch football. Watch some hockey. Watch some lacrosse. Try to follow the ball, the puck around. It's good for your brain. Try something new. I don't even know what I'm talking about. All right, so the only thing that I have to... This is huge news. I cannot talk about this. The Big Ten and the Pac-12. I don't even know where to start because you all know by now. So it's weird. It's not like I'm announcing the news or it's like a reaction podcast day of. It's a mess. The NCAA is a mess. There's just so many governing bodies with all the different conferences. It just makes it so difficult. I know we even saw in March on like Doomsday. I don't even know what we're going to call that date in March. When everybody started canceling. It still was awkward. Because there's so many different, all the university presidents, all the commissioners of the league, there's just so many people it just has to go through. And when we saw the Big East was holding out in basketball, and they canceled at halftime of one of their games in Madison Square Garden. The Ivy League was first again to announce that they're not going to play or cancel, suspend, whatever we're calling it. So the Big Ten announced now they are, I don't have this for a fact, this is just my feeling, they're only using the word postpone because I think the outrage would have been more if they used the word cancel. I think they essentially are canceling. Do I hope they do something in the spring? Yeah. Do I think they want to do something in the spring with the Pac-12? Yeah. So what we're probably going to get, I don't know, this is just my thought process, what they're probably thinking. Play a Big Ten schedule, play a Pac-12 schedule, Rose Bowl for a little mini championship, and 2020 is going to be one of those weird college football years where multiple people are claiming to be national champions. That's not new in college football, though, so I don't think that's the biggest deal. That's been going on since before the turn of the century. We've had multiple teams claiming they're national champions. That's why they started this new playoff we've only had for however long it is now. Is it like 5 or 6 years now? It feels newer than that. But... so that's not going to be anything new if that's what this happens. We're going to get a fall champion, we're going to get a spring champion. And outside of Ohio State, and maybe who's like a USC, is somebody going to come out of the Pac-12? Were they really going to make the playoffs anyway? It was probably going to be 2 SEC schools, a Big 12 school, and like that's what the playoffs have been already anyway. Unless Ohio State, right? I mean, Ohio State was really, I mean, are we all thinking one of the only Big Ten team that really had a shot? Wisconsin's supposed to be good this year? Or is that basketball? So, it just, obviously, from a sports fanatic standpoint, it's upsetting. I personally think it's upsetting for the kids. Multiple professionals, health professionals, college professionals, have said in many cases most student athletes would be safer on campus. One example is, I believe it was Oklahoma, went X amount of weeks without a positive COVID test. I said the word. I haven't said the word on this podcast, I don't think ever. I was trying to avoid it like the plague. Oh no. What'd I just do? Oh no. I made it so far. August 19th. R.I.P. Oh my god. Oh, it's so funny. Damn. Okay, well, crap. What are we talking about? Oklahoma football. X amount of weeks without a positive. They take a week off of practice because of all this going on, all the announcings and people canceling. Sorry, I gotta stop doing that while I'm recording. I'm sorry. I apologize. Everybody, what am I supposed to do? Sitting here by myself for an hour talking. Wow, they don't want me to get this story out. So anyway, they went back. They took a week off of practice. Who knows what the kids did? And they come back and 9 positive. I think you could, especially strict football coaches, they can pretty much keep their guys on a short leash if they wanted to. And if the kids bought into the system, especially if you're Oklahoma, Ohio State, and Alabama, you have a chance to go win a championship, or even a team that you think you have a chance just to win your conference championship. I think these kids would buy into that. Okay, I can't go out. I got to be careful when I go grocery shopping. Wear a mask when I go. I mean, they can probably do all their classes online. They all have private tutors anyway. They're used to traveling all across the country during athletic seasons anyway. So it's not like, I don't think like a team isolation would be the worst thing. You're isolating them from campus? Well, yeah, I think most campuses are doing that with all of the students anyway. Limiting class sizes. I mean, who knows what everybody, long story short, I think canceling or postponing till spring was a little, what's the word? Not aggressive. Wrong, but it's not the word I'm looking for. Yeah, I don't know. It was too much. It was just too much too soon. It's not. I don't know, man. I'm with the professionals that believe these student athletes would be safer on campus. They're some of the healthiest people on the planet. I mean, these are the most in shape, young people on the planet with the best trainers, health nutritionalists. I mean, the facilities are incredible. Now, obviously, it goes down as you start talking about the lower major teams, but from a top football program standpoint, I don't think these kids could get any safer. That's just my personal opinion. I try to stay away from controversial topics on this, but we're surrounded. We're surrounded by this, and this is 2020. It had to be done. The word had to be said. The topic had to be brought up. Big 12, SEC, ACC. have kind of said, for now, let's go. Let's ride. Let's play our conferences. Let's do this thing as safe as possible. I'm with it. I think that's how everything in the country should be, honestly, too. Let's do things safely. Why can't we all just meet in the middle? There's the people, we gotta, why can't you just meet me in the middle? This is why I don't sing. Meet in the middle, peeps. You want to cancel? You want to play? Let's play safely. Minimize the playing. Minimize the travel. Meet in the middle. Not that hard. It's really not. With all things in life. Okay, off my soapbox. Let's continue on, though, with college. Do have some quick things. Baylor versus Gonzaga was not scheduled a few months ago. But now, the preseason, likely to be the preseason 1 and 2 teams, minus Villanova, might throw a wrench in that. But, as of now, my rankings are going to be Gonzaga, Baylor, 1 and 2. I don't know if I'm going to flip them yet. CBS Sports' top 25 and 1. Gonzaga 1, Baylor 2. Preseason AP poll probably going to reflect that. So, this would be really cool. I believe it would be the 44th time that number 1 and number 2 have met, if they happen to be that when they meet. So it's rare. I think it would be great if they could do it in the beginning of the season to like kind of hype up college basketball season starting. It seems they have plans to do it in either November, December, and even January. So what happened, here's the news, for the not college basketball junkies. With the Pac-12 actually went a step farther than the Big Ten as well and postponed basketball season to 2021 as well. So maybe they'll do something in January, but the Pac-12 went the farthest in that regard, minus the Ivy League. So no Pac-12 basketball in the beginning of college basketball season when teams like Gonzaga try to play Pac-12 teams. So Gonzaga had 3 Pac-12 games scheduled. Baylor had 1. So they have some openings in their schedules. So Mark Few and Scott Drew, 2 of the best coaches in the world right now in college basketball, kind of talking. Let's play. Let's make a deal. You want to play? I want to play. You want to get a top win on your resume? I want to get a top win on my resume. Is it a bad loss? No. Win-win for everybody. Hypes up college basketball. I'm super excited. I couldn't be more excited. If this gets taken away from me now, this is like some sick joke. I hope this doesn't get taken away from me. Because this could have been like the national championship game last year. Very, like, well, were they on the same side of the bracket? Well, we didn't make a bracket. So I don't know. They would have been 2 number 1 seeds, though. That's for certain. And likely number 1 and 2 in the preseason poll coming out soon, probably. Mine's coming out soon. Everybody's kind of making those way too early ones. In a normal year, it's almost about that time. So that's the big news there. Do we talk about playoffs? I just love that quote so much. Playoffs? Coaches and press conferences, man. Never know. Never know what's going to happen. All right, let's start with the NBA. No, what did I have first? Please hold. NHL first. This was just a cool note. Tampa Bay Lightning and Columbus Blue Jackets went 5 overtime games the other night. This was like about a week ago. 4th longest game in NHL history. I thought that was pretty crazy. Noteworthy. 5 overtimes. How tired must those guys be? Oh my God. Just they've been playing back-to-back games in this bubble already. Oh, 5 overtimes? Oh my God. They only played 3 periods. They need 5 more overtimes. Oh, that's absurd. All right. Sorry. A little sip of coffee. So, in the bubbles, up in Canada, NHL's going on. Number 1, Philly Flyers. Number 12, Montreal Canadiens. Flyers are winning 3-1. So they actually play today. Flyers are trying to move on. Tampa Bay Lightning, Columbus Blue Jackets. We're in the round of 16, so it's still like, I don't know. I feel like it's too early to. As much as I want to hype up playoffs and talk about them in depth, it's just like there's so many. Like you would have to do a whole episode just on the NHL playoffs, and you have to do a whole episode on the NBA. Like you can really only talk about the matchups when there's 16 teams left in each one. Like we kind of gotta just like, here's what's happening, right? I mean, I don't know. Tell me if you guys like when I do this or not. Because I know not a lot of people are sitting down watching every NHL game and every NBA game, so I wish I could. I tried to. Number 2, Tampa Bay Lightning versus number 9, Columbus Blue Jackets. That's the one I was saying. The first game 1 went to 5 overtimes. Blue Jackets won the second game. Lightning have won the next 2, so they actually play again today, August 19th. Lightning trying to move on there. Only one team has moved on so far, so we'll get there. Number 3, Washington Capitals. Number 7, New York Islanders. This, my friends, was almost an upset alert. Number 7, New York Islanders were up 3-0. Capitals, though, Ovi wasn't having it. Ovi went off, I believe he had 2 goals in this last game, game 4. So Capitals won 3-2. They will play on the 20th. That game 4, Islanders trying to punch their ticket to the next round. Number 4, Boston Bruins. Number 6, Carolina Hurricanes. They had a double overtime game, game 1. Then it went Bruins, Hurricanes, Bruins, Bruins. Same kind of boat. It's like all of these series. Wow, that's crazy. Series? Multiple series? I love when I just look at it. Bruins, game 5 tonight, August 19th. Bruins will try to punch that ticket to the next round. They're up 3-1. Then in the Western Conference, I have another bubble going on. Number 1, Vegas Golden Knights. These Golden Knights, man, ever since they were created, they've been causing problems for everybody else in the West. Number 1 versus number 12, Chicago Blackhawks. Golden Knights, Golden Knights, Golden Knights. Game 1, 2, 3, bada bang, bada boom. Game 2 did go into just overtime. I thought that said 3 overtimes. No. Blackhawks, though, pulled one out, won game 4. Game 5, though, Golden Knights. So Golden Knights punched their ticket, number 1 seed in the West, moving on to the next round. They're the only ones so far. Chances tonight, multiple chances tonight, like I've said. But number 2, Colorado Avalanche, my new hometown team, versus number 11, Arizona Coyotes. Avalanche up 3-1. Avalanche took the first 2 games. Coyotes, Avalanche. Game 4, 7-1. I mean, that is 7-1. We'll see how the Coyotes bounce back after that one. I don't know. That's going to be interesting. Game 5 tonight. See if the Avalanche can punch a ticket. Dallas Stars, Calgary Flames, 3 versus 8. This one's gone 5 games already. So it went Flames, Stars, Flames, Stars, Stars. So we'll see if the Stars can punch that ticket finally. They're up 3-2 in the series. Number 4, St. Louis Blues versus number 7, Vancouver Canucks. Canucks won the first 2. Blues won the next 2. Let's see who wins the next 2. I mean, there's 3 chances, but you got to win 2 of the next 3 to move on. And that'll do it. That'll do it, bud. Right? I mean, what else you got for me? Huh? I could go in more depth, but we'll move on to the NBA. And the note here I had was the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns went perfect in the bubble. 8-0. Did not lose. Did not lose a game in the Orlando bubble. And they're still not in the playoffs, those poor bastards. Oh, that sucks. But what can we do? Don't suck for the rest of the season. No, but that really does suck. I mean, they should have had a chance for that play-in, but it just, their record wasn't good enough in the long run. They tried. They were like the little darlings. They were like the little Cinderella team, March Madness, but they didn't make it. They got knocked out. The bubble watch. You want to be in the bubble, not on the bubble in March. There it comes again. You do want to be in the bubble, though. In the NBA, at least. NHL, pretty much everywhere. Stay safe in the bubble. So I mentioned, I believe it was 2003 or 2004, the first time. I guess I can spoil it off the bat. You probably already know. Both number 1 seeds went down in the Eastern and Western Conference in the Orlando bubble. First time that's happened since I believe it was 2003 or 2004. I believe it was the Spurs and the Pistons, they said. So whatever year that was. But yeah, the number 8 Orlando Magic getting the best of the Bucks in Game 1. Pretty convincingly, too. 122 to 110. Magic showing up. Saying we're here to play in the bubble. Raptors, Brooklyn Nets, 2-7. Not the same case. More the opposite. Raptors showing, hey, we're still pretty good. 134 or 110. Raptors might have a little chip on their shoulder, losing the big man. Number 3, Celtics. 6, 76ers. Most would say, on paper, Celtics are the better team. Celtics won 109, 101. We'll see where that goes. Miami Heat, Pacers, 5-4. This one's actually, this I think is what I call a coin flipper. Heat won 113, 101. Game 1. These are all game 1s. Portland Trailblazers, Los Angeles Lakers. So now we're in the West. This was great. The 8 beat the 1. Again, like I said, this was the first time in over 15 years that both number 1s lost their first playoff game. Crazy. I almost said it in the same day, but that doesn't matter. Both number 1s lost their first round playoff game. Crazy. Trailblazers, man. 193. Trailblazers actually, this one I think was the most interesting one. Because the Lakers are such heavy favorites with the Clippers and the Bucks to win the whole thing. And they didn't look like it. And the Trailblazers looked great, like they have been. And Lillard, Dame Dollar, just going off in the fourth quarter like he always does. For the whole game, essentially. But the Trailblazers didn't even shoot that well. I think they only shot 35, 38%? And they still scored 100 points. And LeBron set a personal playoff record. Some crazy triple-double. So how much better can he play? Anthony Davis had a great first half. 21 points in the first half. Then I think he only had 7 or 8 points in the second. So, and I guess he wasn't that efficient in the first half either. I mean, he got a lot of points, but those two guys have to dominate. I mean, those are 2 of the top 5 players in the NBA. And they got to play like it every night if they're gonna beat the Trailblazers, because the Trailblazers weren't even red hot and still won this game 1. And I think the interesting thing is usually when you're the number 1 seed versus the number 8, say you lose the first game or the second game, you still in the back of your head are like, oh well, we're coming home at the end anyway. I know athletes always say they take it game by game, but you have to know you have home court advantage. At some point. There is none of that in the bubble. So, if the Blazers win another one, the Lakers don't have a home court to go back to. I mean, I guess this would be it would be like them winning on the road, and then it would be Blazers, and then, but so say come game 3, game 4, game 5, at some point, Charles Barkley is going for the sweep. He called it, man. He's on the Blazers bandwagon hard. He said the Blazers are going to sweep the Lakers. It went viral. And then afterwards, they won game 1, and he's on the set at TNT, and he's sweeping. He's sweeping already after game 1. He's a knucklehead. I love it. Do I think the Blazers are going to sweep the Lakers? I would doubt it. Do I want them to win? Do I want them to sweep them? Of course. It'd be great. Oh, my gosh. But I love that he went out. I'm always telling people to go out on a limb. Chuck is not afraid to go out on a limb. He lives out on the limbs, man. His fat ass. I don't know how those limbs don't break. This one didn't break. This one held strong for at least one game. We'll see. The Lakers are going to come back and win 4 in a row, and Chuck's going to look stupid. But if they actually, I don't know, man. The Blazers are not afraid of the Lakers. That's all I'm gonna say. And I'm a underdog better. I like it. And for my preseason champion pick, of course I want the Lakers to get knocked out. That makes the road easier to the championship. We'll get there. 2 LA Clippers, Dallas Mavericks. This one was interesting because the Mavs are kind of winning this one until the Zinger got ejected or whatever it's called. Double technical, out of the game, and they were both BS, and social media erupted. So the Clippers snuck this one out, which is sad for the Mavericks because they needed this. They needed a Game 1 win. On paper you're not the better team, so you gotta get the game that you're win. Like they should have finished, but they couldn't without Porzingis the second half. Denver Nuggets 3 versus Utah Jazz. This one was crazy. Donovan Mitchell, 57 points. The third person. So actually, Chuck was number 4 with 56 points in a playoff game. He's now number 3 for most points in a playoff game. It was Elon Baylor had 61 and Michael Jordan had 63. And now Donovan Mitchell had 57. But they still lost. It wasn't enough. Kind of like LeBron's triple-double wasn't enough to win. But still crazy to see somebody go off and score 57 points in a game. I mean, it's only happened 2 other times. And who was around when Baylor was playing? Not nobody, but come on. You know what I'm saying. So the Nuggets ended up pulling away in overtime because Jamal Murray also went off. He had like 36 points, which doesn't sound like a lot when somebody else scored 57, but 36 points is a lot in a basketball game. So that'll be a series, and that's local for me now too. So we're kind of covering that now at work. I'm right in between the Jazz and the Nuggets. I mean, they're not there; they're in the Orlando bubble, but the cities 3 hours from each of those. So here's the Rockets, my darling Rockets. My preseason pick to be the NBA 2020 champions. I thought we would never know, so I was going to claim that I was right because the season never happened. But here we are, and we have a chance. And I think the Rockets have a chance. Man, this small ball, shoot from 3 thing they got going might work. Now, it all depends if they can land these threes. So if you don't know, the Rockets just shoot more threes than anybody else. They don't take any mid shots. It's either layups in the paint or threes. From a analytics standpoint, it seems to be working because they shoot the 3 the best, they shoot the most threes, they score the most points, and they have James Harden for in the 3rd year in a row is the point scoring leader. Has scored the most points in the NBA for 3 seasons in a row now. Because James Harden just is a little cheap with the flopping head nods. Yeah, but does he get to the free throw line? Yeah. Does he shoot like 90% from the free throw line? Yeah. So guess what? He's scoring a lot of points. It's working. And they're going to be the champions. That's all I have to say. I mean, if they stay red hot, they played so well without Russell Westbrook. If they can continue this, and Gordon can play as well as he did, that might be the best trio in the NBA. Westbrook, Harden, 2 MVPs. Remember that. And Gordon. If Eric Gordon plays like he did last night, 2 nights ago. Woo-hoo! Watch out for those Rockets, baby. Orlando, this is going to be the new saying. Orlando, we have a problem. The Rockets are taking off. Yeah, so they won that one. Oh, that was the last one, too. Okay, cool. Rockets, baby. So, do we want the Lakers to get swept? Yes. Do we want the Rockets to keep winning? Yes. Because that would be fun. Wouldn't that be fun for all of us? I think so. All right. That's all I got. It was good. Had to get this episode out. Not too long, not too short. That's what you get. Updates. What's better? Alrighty. That was fun. A lot to talk about, but not a lot to talk about at the same time. Didn't get into baseball, but they're playing baseball. We'll get to it. And NFL soon. your fantasy drafts are probably coming up either this weekend or next. So we'll probably do a special pod for that once we do my draft. And yeah, stay tuned for more. Let me know if you like the whole live thing. If there were any problems, if it glitched, because I wasn't actually watching it the whole time. I'm watching it now. It looks good. All right. That's another episode. I got to go do a full day's worth of, whoa, what now? My day's just starting. 2 p.m. Mountain Time. Almost. Getting there. So, on that note, I will see you all next time. It has been great. As always, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel so you get the notes when I go live. And we need to get that to 100 so I can change the URL so I can tell people to go to youtube.com/whatever. For obvious reasons, it would be easier than youtube.com/QXYBBDGG. So, it'd be like youtube.com/Icatech. Alright, that's it. Get out of here, peeps. Love you all. Be nice to one another. Share a smile. Meet in the middle. Be happy. Alright, we'll get through this. This too will end. Alright, see you next time.